Now we're going to make an ice cream that you can't afford to make. But it's still something really great to make, especially around Christmas time, holidays. If you're tired of giving Uncle Harry
the CSC
a
is the one on the
tie
front?
from Brooks Brothers that he really doesn't need. Hello, everybody. Instead of giving a tie out, you can give out this ice cream. It's really spectacular. Grand Marnier liqueur ice cream. If you're not familiar with Grand Marnier, it's an orange liqueur from France. It's about $40 a bottle for this size bottle. That's a lot of money, but it's a spectacular ice cream. The first time I'm aware of this being made was myself and an attorney in Philadelphia. We came up with this flavor, working together. And I'll never forget it because I sold the attorney a machine for her ice cream parlor, and her offices were in the same building as the Philadelphia Stock Exchange. So I was, young and foolish, and I took down the information, and I'd been drinking some Grand Marnier ice cream. And so we built the machine, we shipped it to her. All of a sudden, I get a call from the head of the Philadelphia Stock Exchange and says, we have this large box that says ice cream making machine, and it's on the floor of the exchange. What do you want us to do with it? Because I had forgotten that it wasn't going to her ice cream parlor, and I sent it to her office. But that was the first time Grand Marnier liqueur ice cream had been made. And I still use it as a great gift around the holidays. And it's very simple, as you can see from the recipe. It's going to be the dairy blend. It's going to be the Grand Marnier. And I take the some California navel oranges.
Throw them right in.
Yeah. Alrighty. Throw out the ceremonial first pitch. They have the thickest. I'm not using the orange. I'm using the skin, what they call the zest. On a navel orange, it's really rough, and there's a lot of it. And I'm going to grate it off, so that in my product, I have this, the Grand Marnier is an orange liqueur. And so, hello. I'm going to have this pure white product with the smell, and the aroma, and the taste of the orange liqueur, and I'm going to have little specks of orange in it, strictly for looks. So it's going to be really nice, and that's all there is to it. I asked Jeff when he makes it.
Careful.
Oh, right. Okay. Never mind. I won't tell you what I asked Jeff. But I find it's a strong liqueur, so you don't have to use a huge amount of it. It's not something that I think you can sell retail, but you could sell it as a party ice cream. There are plenty of people having private parties around the holidays, and there's no reason you couldn't make a 2.5-gallon tub of this and sell it for about $100 or more as a special event. You can be sure that the hostess, no other party she goes to at Christmas is going to have this flavor. It's just that unique. So make sure the gate's closed. I went to clean the machine, and the gate was open, and I almost had a major crisis. Here's my mix.
So what do you want to talk about now?
Oh, I got something to follow up on this while it's running. Oh, it sure is. You're supposed to tighten the knobs. I got it. I forgot to tighten the knobs. One thing about doing a live performance, if something can go wrong, it will. I once heard, we had a program up in New York on the radio. I'm a big radio nut, called Rambling with Gambling. And John Gambling was saying that the programs that seem to be the most casual are the ones that are most highly scripted.
Here, you see.
Now, I'm not saying Jeff and I are highly scripted. This is called hot dough. I'm not hot.
Hot dough. Yeah, Chinese food.
It does take us days and days to plan this out.
Oh, to the minute.
Well, not to the minute, but
to the second. You're right.
It's harder for me than Jeff because I'm not in the business of making ice cream, so I don't have everything around all the time.
You're kidding.
You're
not an ice cream maker?
No.
You're a machine maker.
I play one on TV. However, if you ask me, this is the attitude you have to have in your business. If you ask me who makes the world's best ice cream, I used to get asked that question all the time at trade shows, and it's fully a loaded question because I could say it's By Right Creamery in San Francisco. I could say it's Jeff and Fruit Loops. I could say it's Ample Hills in Brooklyn. And that means I'm going to offend the rest of the industry. So I just tell people the best ice cream maker in the world is me. And then I go, to confession and say, God, forgive me, because that ain't true. Okay, we've got the mix in. I'm going to start this. I'm going to run it at super premium. Start. Refrigeration. And we're off. Now I'm going to measure out the Grand Marnier.
Why? Dump it in.
Oh, all right. No. Because I don't know what the timing will be. It's got alcohol. Oh, it's spitting. Oh, the cost involved here. Okay. That was easy. Now I'm just going to grate the zest and put that
this in too.
No, I got to save it.
It won't hurt it.
No, that's Paula's. I had to save it for the office party. She has one drink a year. Another thing that you're going to run into while I'm doing the oranges is a lot of you will start out the way Jeff does and will probably grow and graduate into going down a different road, and that is with dipping cabinets, hardening cabinets, the whole works. We have a list at emerythompson.com of what I call key suppliers, people I've worked with for many years. I know that their products are good. I don't take a dime from anyone. I don't have to, but also I don't want to because I want to be able to give you straight, honest answers. If you call up and say, what do you think of so-and-so, so-and-so's product, I'll tell you if I like it or not. So I just put this together the other day just to give you a couple things because, we've had some minor changes. If you need something, real fast, I don't know, like some cups or some tubs or some spatulas, and you're not buying in large quantities, there's a business that is very popular with everyone called Web Restaurant Store. It's at the top here. Here's the problem. You go looking for it, and it must have been a domain name problem at some time, because when you get this piece of paper, you're going to see that I have spelled out web, W-E-B, and then restaurant, and then store.com. You'll never find them using that website because in the word restaurant, the R and the E are dropped. So it's webstrantstore.com. And that gets a little confusing, but it's a great place. Everybody I know uses them. You're going to need hardening cabinets and dipping cabinets, and I've made a bit of a change there. I've talked to the manufacturers and have arrangements with them now that you can buy direct on dipping cabinets and hardening cabinets from two companies. One is C. Nelson Manufacturing, which is in, I believe, Ohio, and they are top of the line dipping cabinets. They don't make hardening cabinets. They cost more than others, but I can tell you, my little dipping cabinet over there is 20 years old and never had a problem with it. Not everybody.
You want to do this?
Yeah, would you?
What do you want to do?
I want to zest it.
And put it in there?
Yeah.
You have a zester?
Yeah. Do you mind?
I've never done this before.
Oh.
Which one would you use?
I would use, yeah.
No. You're putting it in the machine?
Yeah.
So you want to use a smaller one, right?
That's good. I like that one. So instead of going through a dealer who's going to mark up the costs, I've made arrangements with Nelson Company and Global Refrigeration. Global, we all know it in the industry. It was called Kelvinator for many years, and then they changed the name to Global. And they have hardening cabinets, dipping cabinets, storage freezers, and I've put down the contacts on both of these. At Nelson, it's Tammy Almendinger or George Dunlap, and their phone number is there. And at Global Refrigeration, it's their Senior Vice President, Marty Hendricks. And you call up either of these, and again, I'm telling you honestly, I don't get 1 cent out of these people. What I get is a great reputation for, giving honest answers. Global Refrigeration is you just call them up. You're going to be talking to the senior vice president, and they can tell you the pricing, and they're going to give you a larger discount than any dealer that they work with. So you're going to do very well there. I put Green Mountain Flavors down because it's just so spectacular that now, I've told this story before, and if you've heard the videos, seen the videos, you know it, that Stan Sitton, I wanted to make a bright cherry Italian ice. And traditionally, when you made a cherry Italian ice, you watch kids eat it and their hands turn bright red dye 40. People have gotten smarter. The millennial age group has gotten a lot smarter than us. They see bright green, bright red, bright yellow, and they know it's red 40, yellow 17, green 6.
And Superman ice cream. What about Superman ice cream?
You need color sometimes, but they see it. They look at those colors and say that's artificial. Well, Stan has come up with extracts and colors that are all natural from Green Mountain Flavors, his company. And I tell this story. He sent me a bottle of concentrated beet juice. Nobody in the world likes beets except my wife Paula. She likes beets. Everybody else, who wants beets? So I call up Stan and I say, hey Stan, you know I'm from the Bronx and you know I'm telling people how to make Italian ice. You really think I'm going to sell beet juice Italian ice? Come on. And he starts laughing. He said, no, Steve, beets are the reddest thing in nature. So we take the beets because of the color. We get rid of the beet taste and we make it, we essence it down to, boil it down to whatever they do, down to a color, a food color that's made from beets. So now you've got this bright red product in your cabinet and the mother looks and goes, oh, I don't want my children eating that. Oh no, ma'am, that color comes from beets. Well, you've made such a huge impression on her that she's going to come buy everything from you. And he's got great extracts. He's got sometimes I mentioned this morning you have to bolster something like a cantaloupe, and so you can buy a cantaloupe extract from him and get the extra oomph that you can't get just from the fruit itself. He's got these all natural colors, and Stan is just one of the smartest people I've met, and he happens to be the president of the company, and like me, he'll pick up the phone and talk to you direct. So I find that helpful to you. A lot of people ask about filling pints and quarts. The simple answer is you do it by hand until the labor is killing you, because a filler is going to cost you. How you doing there?
This will be the last one.
Okay. Good. I think the pint business is really tremendous, and you need to go after it, because we used to be stuck on price. I was just in the supermarket yesterday, and I saw that Ben & Jerry was $3.99, Haagen-Dazs was $4.39, that Halo top was $5.50. What a ripoff! There are now a lot of, like you will be doing, you could call it designer ice creams, specialty ice creams, but since it's in a pint container, you can get away with getting $8 or $9 in many markets for a pint of ice cream. Because again, it's a treat, it's something that you want, and so you don't mind paying a little extra. I'll be with you in a minute. You don't mind paying a little extra for it. So having a cabinet where you can sell pints right there, you hand pack them. People always say, well, I want to fill them out of the machine. Well, imagine this. You've got a steak in the oven. Let's call your oven a batch oven for a minute. You put a batch of steak in, and you broil it to medium rare. And then you want to take the whole batch out. If you take the whole batch out, now you got a medium rare steak. If you take that batch out one slice at a time, here's a slice, put it on the plate. Here's a slice, put it on the plate. By time you finish, and that's like filling pints. By time you finish slicing up that steak, the first steak is medium rare, and the last steak is burned to a crisp, because that oven is still cooking. So batch freezers, by their very name, are meant to make a batch of product. Cappigiani came up with a door that they told people you could fill pints with, and they had to buy them all back because they got sued, because obviously they didn't understand the concept of a batch freezer. that you can't fill one at a time because your first one's way heavier than your last. So the way I do pints is I take all the ice cream out, put it into a tub, throw it in the freezer, and go back to making another flavor. And then I make another flavor. And then after about 40 minutes, if I've got a break, I go back to my first tub, and I take a spade, not a spoon, but a more flat, curvy spade, and I'm using that to put the ice cream into the pints, level it off, cap them, and that's how you do it. And you do it that way until the labor is killing you, and then when the labor is just too much, you can go to T.D. Sawville. Troy Sawville's the president, and he can sell you a semi-automated package filler for about $7,000 that will take a lot of that work out. But not everybody's got $7,000 when they're first opening up. But you cannot, you don't understand, the manufacturer does not understand batch freezers if they're telling you that you can fill at the machine, because you can't. It will make for an uneven product. And the last thing you want, I tell people, McDonald's is a lousy hamburger, but it's the same lousy hamburger in Tampa as it is in Moscow, as it is in Dubai, as it is in San Francisco. When you go through the Golden Arches, you know what you're getting. A lousy hamburger, but it's of a certain quality. You can't have people saying, oh, I bought a pint of ice cream from Steve's Ice Cream last week and it was great, and then, I don't know, it just doesn't taste the same. That's the kiss of death. You need consistency across your products. Now, we're the only machine that you can put alcohol right into the machine because you need a lot of refrigeration. Alcohol freezes at minus 240 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, and we're obviously not going to minus 240. So the alcohol in here is not going to freeze, it's going to stay in suspension in the ice cream. We have enough power that we can do that. Anybody else, you have to drizzle in a fraction of that alcohol as it's coming out, otherwise it'll never freeze. It will take longer to freeze, and it won't be as rock hard as other products, but then when you pull it out of the machine and put it into your freezer cabinet, put it in the corner of the cabinet. Imagine this is my cabinet right here. It's wrapped all the way around in aluminum tubing, and so it's set at, say, 6 degrees. Well, it's 6 degrees here in the center of the cabinet, but over here, there's refrigeration this side and this side. So this corner is actually colder than over here. So if you've got a liquor ice cream, put it in the corners because it's going to get more refrigeration. If you walk into an ice cream parlor and you see the server scooping one product nice and easy and struggling like crazy on the other one, they don't know about, the dipping cabinet configuration. If you have one product that's really rock hard and another that's running soft, like strawberry is going to run softer than vanilla because of the extra sugar from the strawberries, put your strawberry in the corner and your vanilla in the center, and they'll all scoop the same. Okay, let me just take a look here. That's looking good. We can go a little further.
Steve,
yes.
Question. Say, for example, like during the operation right now, the blackout occurs with the power supply. Would it damage the machine in any way?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Say, for example, during the operation right now, if the blackout occurs with the power supply,
yeah.
Would it damage the machine?
Oh, would it damage the machine if we had a blackout? No, but the ice cream's going to start to melt, so grab some spoons and start eating. You had a question back there? No, you didn't? Okay. I know you did, yes.
In terms of alcohol content in ice cream, is there a criteria for percent or?
How much alcohol can you put in ice cream? It's regulated by each individual state. And surprisingly, my home state, New York, which is just, regulation city, has one of the most liberal policies that I've ever seen. So it varies state by state. I did hear a story about Florida. I can't verify it, but it was said that the inspector said, if you make vanilla ice cream with rum in it, and you scoop it and you serve it to someone, that's okay. The rum is an ingredient. If you take that vanilla ice cream, put it in a blender and turn it into a milkshake, that's a mixed drink. That's the most convoluted thing I've ever heard in my life, but I'll go with it. So check with your individual state. Liquor ice creams are interesting. The millennials call it liquor infused, which means we poured a bottle in. The problem I have with it comes from reading a book. It was a novel, and it was supposed to be a guy from New York, Tom Carvel, that we all knew very well. And his son-in-law says, hey, we got to start doing some liquor like ice creams, or at least the names like alcohol. And it killed the business instantly because they were a family type of store, catering to families. And the mother didn't want their 13-year-old going in and ordering rum raisin ice cream with real rum in it. That takes it away out of the family atmosphere. So it really depends on your location.
How are we doing?
We're doing good. Still going. It really will depend on your exact location, what you can get away with.
Well, what I do is my business. Yes.
All right, we'll take this out now and let
What
everybody have a
happened to
taste.
the other one? No good?
What? Yeah,
Oh.
I'm saving it. It was just a little loose, and I don't want to
Oh, okay.
mess it up.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Turn off the refrigeration, open the gate. I'm going to up the speed to push it out even faster.
So you swapped flavors, right? Jeff didn't do raspberry chocolate swirl, you did random Marnier, is that what that is?
Yeah, well, his flavor this morning we swapped.
Thank you.
He changed flavors this morning. We'll have to redo it.
Now, I'll tell you what, next time you make this, in our shop, it's a big seller with chocolate chips. It's Grand Marnier, and we throw chips in.
Yeah.
And that would be great. But you gave me, the zest is great.
It looks pretty, doesn't it?
I'm going to zest mine from now
Doesn't
on.
add any flavor.
Well, I think it does, because you're getting the oils.
But it
from-
does. It just looks
Looks
wonderful.
great. I'm going to do it from now on. I'm going to have Rose zest. I'm going to have Rose zest me the night before.
You were talking about the chocolate and doing something with pieces.
Yeah.
There's a chocolate called enrobling chocolate.
What is it called?
Enrobling, ENROLBING.
Yeah.
I think it has a low melting point. So you melt it in a double boiler, and then you pour it into your machine while the machine's running, and the chocolate hits the cold ice cream and shatters into a regular sized pieces of ice cream of chocolate candy.
I don't see it.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
see
cool.
that happening.
Oh yeah,
Really?
it's got to be enrobling chocolate though, but it's really cool. I learned it up in Sparta, New Jersey,
Huh.
years ago. Everything with me was years ago.